So with the first round of Swiss having concluded, we already had our first upset with Team Liquid beating T1. And yeah, we had a lot of really one-sided matches, which I didn't think was gonna happen, right? We had 4 2-0s. I thought it would be a bit closer, but I mean, yeah, sometimes that's just how it goes. So now we're gonna look at the 1-0 matches, the qualification matches for the playoffs today, and then tomorrow the elimination matches of the 0-1 teams. Yeah, that's gonna be tomorrow. So yeah, as you can see, I've gone uh I've got 2 and 2 in the first round of Swiss, so hopefully I'll do better this time around. But I think it's getting harder with these matches coming up. But yeah, let's first take a look at Paper X versus Gentlemates. And yeah, for Paper X versus Gentlemates, we have a bit of an interesting scenario when it comes to the map bans, because well, both Paper X and Gentlemates have had a permaban, and I think for both of them, it's going to be reasonable to just continue to keep their permaban. Also, they didn't seem to be willing to pick their maps. Even Gentlemates didn't seem to be willing to do that against EDG, where I thought it would be a great idea for them to do so. But yeah, they didn't choose to do that. So for them, I'd recommend it more than I would do so for Paper X, because for Paper X, I think Abyss is a fine map. Or it's at least a decent map for Gentlemates, so I think that's more arguably a more fine map to ban. But yeah, I think these two map bans are set in stone. And then for the map picks, I've gone with Gentlemates picking Bind. It is their second best map, I would say, after Split. And Split is just a map that both Paper X and Gentlemates are really good at. And with Bind, it's a map where Gentlemates would be really confident on, and Paper X hasn't shown like the same amount of um yeah, they didn't look as great on Bind, right? They haven't shown that level of understanding of that map. So I think, yeah, Gentlemates should pick Bind and take that map. And then Paper X, I think they should pick Corrode. Now it's not necessarily their best or their second best, but it's not a great map for Gentlemates, right? They've gone 0-2 on that map. So I think that's a great map pick for Paper X, since they, yeah, for them it's still a really good map. So then they would be 1-1, and we would go to the second rotation of bans. And I think Gentlemates are in a more interesting situation compared to Paper X. I think for Gentlemates, they could realistically ban either Haven or Pearl, in my opinion, because Pearl, well, they've gotten a lot of wins, or they've gotten one win over an EMEA team, and then yesterday they won versus EDG on that map. But yeah, I think it was clear that EDG just isn't comparable to, or that the Chinese teams aren't comparable to the other regions at this international. So I wouldn't weigh that win super heavily. And because of that, I think it might be an option for Gentlemates to ban it, but I don't think they will, because they will feel confident because they now won at Santiago already on that map. So I think they're rather gonna ban Haven rather than Pearl, because Haven is their right. I mean, Split is the best map out of the three, so it's between these two. And yeah, Haven is also a better map for Paper X, which is why I think it would be the better map ban for Gentlemates. And then for Paper X, I think if Pearl hasn't been banned, I think they're gonna ban it. Even though I don't think Gentlemates have looked insane on that map. Paper X hasn't either, and they would for sure be more confident on either Haven or Split. And in that case, the last map remaining would be Split. And I think it's gonna be a really, really close last map, but I would just slightly give it to Paper X, with it being a 2-1, which, yeah, I hope we're gonna finally get a third map, as I would predict it in this case. Overall, I would say Paper X are the favorites, to me, but yeah, I wouldn't count Gentlemates out entirely, but I would say 2-1 for Paper X seems to be most likely in my opinion. So yeah, let's lock in Paper X over here, and then we're gonna take a look at the map bans for or map vetoes for NRG and Team Liquid. Yeah, and for Team Liquid versus NRG, I think Team Liquid's map ban very straightforward. Team Liquid have had a perma ban in Haven. It's also one of NRG's better maps, so that's a great map ban. Works out well for Team Liquid. Now, when it comes to NRG, I think they really have two choices, either Bind or Breeze. But I would say Bind is probably the better option. I think Bind is probably Team Liquid's best map. Also, Energy hasn't won on that map. They owned one, whilst they are 1-1 at least on Breeze. So yeah, I think Bind seems like a great map ban for Energy. Then for Team Liquid's map pick, it's obviously whichever map is remaining out of Bind or Breeze. And I think in this case it's gonna be Breeze. And I do favor Team Liquid heavily on whichever of the two maps is gonna come through. For Energy, I think also the map pick is very straightforward. I think they're gonna pick Abyss. They could also pick Pearl realistically, since Team Liquid has looked even worse on that map than they have on Abyss. Or, I mean, or kind of similarly bad. But I think, yeah, for Energy, Abyss has been their best map. It's been right there 4-0 on that map. I think they're gonna be really happy with playing that map, and they're gonna take that map for sure. For Team Liquid's second ban, obviously they're gonna ban whichever remains out of Abyss or Pearl, which is probably Pearl, as I've said. Yeah, they're then gonna ban that, and then NRG has the, I'd say, tough choice between Split and Corrode, which of the two they're gonna ban. And I've gone with NRG banning Split and leaving Corrode as the last map remaining. Now, it might not seem like the logical choice just based off the map elo, because as you can see, the difference for Corrode is much higher than it is for Split, with Team Liquid being favorites in that case. But I do think that NRG are better on Corrode than their map elo suggests, and then their record in that map this year suggests. Right, I've said it in their first match already. I think NRG is still probably gonna be one of the best Kuro teams, and because of that, I think NRG are rather gonna have that be the deciding map rather than a Split where they haven't looked great, where they're 1-2 even, and where Team Liquid are 2-2 and not 1-3 as Team Liquid are on Corrode. So I think the map elos are just a bit skewed for these two teams, right? Which can happen because we haven't had a lot of data to go off of. So yeah, I think NRG are gonna pick, or are gonna choose to leave Corrode open as the last map, where I do favor them, even though the elo again doesn't suggest it. I do think NRG would be favorites on that map, And yeah, I think a 2-1 for Energy versus Team Liquid sounds reasonable to me. And so we're gonna lock this one in as well, and we're gonna save these picks. And yeah, these are the 2 1-0 matches that we're gonna have tomorrow. And yeah, I hope they're gonna be more exciting. I do think that we're gonna get 6 maps out of these 2 matches, or at least 5. I think these matches are gonna be closer, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. Who do you have qualifying out of these 2 matches? And then I'll see you guys tomorrow for the 0-1 matches for the elimination games. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.